The kettlebell swing is a great exercise for working on your glutes and hamstring strength. While you also work on developing the hip hinge technique, you'll need a kettlebell for this exercise. When we're getting into our kettlebell swings, we're going to start with the weight on the floor in front of us. If you want to figure out what your distance is, you take one foot behind the kettlebell and then take your other foot like a 90-degree angle and then step back. And that's about usually where you want the kettlebell to be in front of you. You're gonna push your hips back and then squat down, and we're gonna start with the kettlebell a little bit tilted. This is tilted towards us because that's the direction that we want it to go. And just to do this, we're gonna swing back and then put it back down on the ground. And that's kind of how we start our kettlebell swings. Let's turn it into a swing. So we're gonna hike it, and then we're going to use our hips to bump the weight up. So we'll come into our position, hike, and then pop the hips forward. When I'm doing the kettlebell swing, the main things that we want to keep in mind is that the hips are what get the weight moving. We're not lifting the weight up with our arms, we're popping it forward. I know we start with the arms to hike it up, but then it's all hip movement from there. So when we're doing the swings, we're popping the hips forward. That sends the weight forward. My arms are pretty relaxed though. I'm not doing front raises here. I'm just keeping my arms relaxed and letting the weight kind of flow naturally like a pendulum. The other thing is that as the weight comes down, I'm trying to wait until the last minute to pop my hips back. That's going to allow me to save my back, because if I start swinging, or if I start like pushing my hips back too far or too early into the swing, then I'm gonna have a situation where the weight is far in front of me, and that's gonna over repetition and repetition, gonna strain my back. So one of the things that my mentors taught me is you want to imagine that you're wearing jeans. You wanna play chicken with your zipper. So you're gonna play chicken with the weight and wait until the last second to pop your hips down. It's like, who's gonna go first, all right? So hips pop the weight forward, wait until the weight is kind of like, I say like about halfway down, and then pop the hips back. And you kind of wanna catch the weight with your hips.